wrap up in one night. So with our freshman parents, I know it's a little bit longer, but I thought it'd be better a little longer than another night. And then, so parents that are upperclassmen, thanks for coming. You only have to do this one time this year for my part. What will happen in the future then is our coaches will have set up a time to meet with you about individual programs, like cross country, volleyball. Sometime in the next week, they're gonna meet with you to kind of, and that might be after practice or something. So some of you are here to pick up your son or daughter, so hopefully it's convenient that way. So we'll see how this goes. But thanks again for being here tonight. Again, like I said about the program meetings, they'll get you that information. One thing I like to say about our coach, the Lord has blessed us with great coaching staffs in all of our sports, and I just add this part in here. I know when they get on a practice schedule, I would say our coaches are really good about practicing at 5:30. They're done at 5:30. So if you could please be here on time to pick up your son or daughter. So, because I tell the coaches they need to stay here until everybody's gone. Okay, so if you could please help respect that. If they're not good at your schedule, let me know. Now, if it happens one time, I'm not going to say anything, but if it's a repeated thing, I will have a conversation with them about that. A couple things, Google Calendar. I have our Lutheran High website on here. So how you can find out stuff about your schedules. So if you go to lutheranhigh.com and you go to Student Life under Athletics, you click on there, and then we scroll down, and you'll see all the individual sports calendars are on there. So let's pick cross country right there. Oh, I don't like his. That doesn't look like mine. So let's try volleyball here. Volleyball's more like, yeah. So this is a little more realistic here. This is what I put this stuff in here, and Erica Thomas, my assistant, she puts the practice times in there. These games are set up way in advance. But as you can see, for example, the JV2 volleyball is at 1 o'clock next Wednesday. They're at Manitowoc Lincoln, and it says the bands will depart from Lutheran High at noon. Okay, so I don't have all the departure times on there. I'm working with volleyball coaches. I just got email back, so I'll get those plugged in tomorrow. But this is where you'll find things. It also gives you the address to the place where we're playing at. Okay? Sometimes softball's a little tricky because they don't always play at the school, and sometimes, I mean, our conference I know that, but it's non-conference unless they tell me, I don't know that. So we try to be as accurate as possible on here, but that's where you find your schedule. Again, lutheranhigh.com, goes under Student Life, click on Athletics, and then scroll down to your sport. So football is on there, the dates. I'm waiting for the bus schedule from Polar to put that in there. Same with the boys soccer, when those bus times are. So I'm hoping I should have them all this week, so they should all be done for that. A couple things that you'll see on the calendar. I'll get to that in a second, sir. So forms. Mrs. Thomas did a great job notifying you in advance when these things were due. You've got to have a physical for anything can happen. Because I don't want to be liable for somebody having an issue and we don't have a physical on file. So that's why that was a must-have. Some of the other forms, alter your card. The alter your card is opposite of the physical. If you've already had a physical, then just give me an alter your card. Your physical is good for 2 years. It's 2 years to the day. So if you got one in August, or I'll say September, and it expires in September, you're good to play until then. But before that, or after that, you're going to have an updated physical. So please pay attention to the dates. But every 2 years they do have to renew. That's a WIA rule, not a Lutheran High rule. We have a trainer, Bill Lagonchuk. What we're going to do differently for our freshmen is they're going to take a baseline concussion test next week in Mr. Jervis's classroom for computer apps. Okay, we're going to try that so we can have a baseline. The football guys have done that already with Kohler because they started the first week in August for practice. So I guess we're going to take it again, and there's only a few of them that need to do that. So, but that's some of the required paperwork that we need. Game transportation. On that calendar I showed you, there'll be different things tagged in there. If it's local, like Howard's Grove, Seagrove, Oosburg, Kohler, Sheboygan Christian, that's a meet their game. So it's your responsibility to get them there at the time the coach wants them there. Okay? Drop off only, we rarely do that, but there's once in a while. I know track we do that for Cedar Grove. We said a drop-off only because it was in the afternoon. And it was tough to get some of the younger kids there for that. Round trip, it'll say, if it doesn't say anything, it just says bus to parks. It doesn't say drop-off. That means it's a round trip bus. There'll be a bus to and from the contest. And then this year we have 2 vans. And so we use them for game transportation when we can. That's what they're set up for. The trick is though we can only take a driver, which is the coach can drive it, and only 9 players, okay, or 9 people. Okay, so we have 2 vans, we have a squad of 18 or 20 with the coaches included. We can do that. So there'll be times that they'll be taking the vans instead for that. So just to have that on the radar, and I'll probably put the word vans in there, and that's you know how they're being transported. Some school rules that pertain to athletics. In order to play or practice that day, you have to be here by second hour. That's the start of second hour, not 10 minutes late, not 5 minutes late, start of second hour, okay? So just make sure you are here for that. Now, if you have a doctor appointment in the morning, not arriving until second or third hour, you still can participate that day, okay? If you have to leave for a doctor appointment during the day and come back, you can still do that. We're just talking about you're sleeping in because you're tired, well, you better be in school by second hour, okay? Grade checks. This will be with our PASS program where if you're struggling in a classroom, you need help, there'll be times that you might be mandated to go to PASS, which is about 45 minutes after school that you'll need to work to get the grade up. Our coaches know that you'll be late for practice, so you're going to have to attend that before you attend practice. If it's a game night, we don't keep people back. They still can go to the game for that day. Same with detentions. I hope none of you student athletes get detentions, but if you do, you need to explain to your coach that you're going to be late for practice, and we're going to have to serve that detention. Something new this year is the state law, Act 89. Our coaches cannot no longer use social media to interact with students. They cannot use texting to communicate with students. This is a state law. Only school-approved platforms are allowed. Right now, it's that email. Okay, where coaches are emailing kids. All the students have an email setup account here. I am tied into all those, so I will see all the communications that happen with the teams. We are looking at some apps that may make it easier, but they're going to have to tie into our platform. So there may be some things you might experiment with, because this is kind of early. It's a new law this year. So players don't text your coach because they're not supposed to answer. And so you can email them so that the school has a record of all that. So that's the purpose of the law. 24-hour rule. If you have an issue with a coach, playing time, how things are going, please wait an extra day and then contact them and say, hey, I'd like to talk about this, and set that up that way. I've told my coaches they need to wait 24 hours before they respond to you. So if you text them on a Sunday, if something go right on a Saturday tournament, they're going to abide by the 24-hour rules. Don't get mad at them if they don't get back to you, because that's what I tell them to do. One thing, playing time is most of the time about what the issue is, and that's our coach's discretion and responsibility. And by all means, you can talk to them about it, but that is in their hands for that. Uniforms. Please take care of them. They're not cheap. I no longer have our same company that can build me a new uniform that looks like the one we just had. They went out of business, so we're using a different vendor now. But please wash them in cold water, because it kind of damages the colors on them when we don't wash them in cold water. And please air dry them. Please don't throw them in the dryer. That just doesn't, it just keeps the uniform looking fresh. If there's an issue with the uniform, please notify me immediately. And then at the end of the season, please turn them in on time and clean and completely dry. So I just appreciate that. All right, Crusader Cards athletic passes. Please sell 10 if you can. all the students will get these tomorrow, or sorry, Thursday. Most of the money raised pays for the huddle contract. That's how we can live stream all of our games, and it's also used for other technology in our school. There's great deals on those cards. Most of you that I talked about that with freshman parents earlier tonight, and most of the returning students know of that. Athletic passes. Family pass $180. Immediate high school and below children. $35 for senior citizens and students. Football, volleyball, boys soccer, boys and girls basketball, and some girls soccer are what they charge admission in our conference, and they would require a pass if you didn't want to pay for it. We'd like to pay for the pass because then our school gets the money for that. So just wanted to pass that on to you. I have them available in my office. And there's a picture of the cards that we'll be handing out on Thursday. So live stream. We are able to live stream volleyball, basketball for both boys and girls, and we're going to try and get our soccer up and running that way too. We have a portable camera for that. There'll be information sent out next week. Our conference joined a conference page, and it's all pricing set up by the conference for our live stream. So that's going to be a little different. So look for those instructions early next week. You can pay per game or you can pay per season for that. Game day assistance. There's always volunteer help needed. For volleyball, we need admissions people, libero tracker, scorebook people, and score clock people. I'll be sending an email out to those parents. Each parent, if you can pick up 3 different shifts. I know everybody would rather do admissions. However, I need people doing all those other things as well. You guys have been good about in the past, so I expect nothing less than that coming up. Basketball admissions people are needed. If you're interested in doing the book or clock, Mr. Jim Rush, since I've been here, has set up all of our score people for score clock and book during the basketball boys and girls season. Okay? So I really appreciate him. He asked me, hey, if there's somebody interested that wants to be a part of that group that does that, to let me know, and I will pass that information on to him as well. And then new for soccer this year, I'm not going to be able to run the clock all the time, so I'm going to need some people to step up to get the best seat in the house, right midfield. Referees keep track in here, so I don't even know why they need it on the scoreboard. Anyway, just need somebody for that. That is it. So I'll be around here if you have any questions. Like I said, it's going to be short and sweet. But again, thank you for your time, and God's blessings to you as you watch your son or daughter as they compete in athletics at Tschudy. So thank you.